The Madman! It's time for Trump's Top 10 Powerful Cards list for Scholomance Academy. And we're coming in right now at number 10 with Survival of the Fittest. I believe that a deck does exist with the capability of cheating it out with Kel'Thuzad. Oh god. It's a deck that just has so many internal synergies, and ultimately I believe it could be the backbone for a control destroyer, because it is really hard for control decks to repeatedly deal with your +4/+4 cards. You cheat it out and you immediately follow up with 0 mana 7/9 taunts. I'm making quite a bet on decks containing Survival of the Fittest to be good, because I've included quite a number of other cards related to Survival of the Fittest also on the top 10. I just feel like so many of them are strong in combination with each other, but also individually. Number 9. Mind Render Ellucia. A game changer for Control Priests everywhere, because whereas Control Priest would lose all the time to combo decks, no more. You draw the Ellucia before they combo, you dismantle their combo. Oh, did you need that Soulfire? Well, I'm just going to play Soulfire on your face. Whoops, I discarded Malygos. How sad. So much disruption potential for only 2 mana. And not only aimed at combo decks, also you slow down aggro decks, because for 1 turn, you take their deck and play their turn. It's great. Number 8. Raise Dead. For both Warlock and Priest, for both aggro and tempo and control, Raise Dead is just straight up 0 mana, gain 2 cards. Sure, you take 3 damage, but maybe that's an upside because you also activate cards which gain a benefit when your health total switches. To put it another way, it's been well established that drawing 2 cards is worth 3 mana. Raise Dead, instead of paying 3 mana, you pay 3 health. And that's a deal that I'm very happy to make. Number 7. Soul Shard Lapidary and Marrow Slicer. You need both the enabler as well as the reward card. So I put the best enabler and the best reward card together. Marrow Slicer for Demon Hunter is arguably a card they would just run straight up, a 4 mana 4/2 weapon. But even better is you play Marrow Slicer on 4 and then you shuffle the Soul Fragments into your deck, and then you follow up with Soul Shard Lapidary, and then you have a 9 attack weapon. Maybe that's overkill. Maybe you don't need 9 attack, but 9 attack on the face is pretty sweet. Maybe you wait until you use your Marrow Slicer and then you use the 5 attack to kill a minion also. It's because of Lapidary, I would say, that you might see some serious change in tempo Demon Hunters, and not just tempo Demon Hunters, maybe even control Demon Hunters. If the Soul Fragment package sees play, it's because of Lapidary. Number 6. Reaper's Scythe. What a monster of a weapon. On one of the swings, you do the 4 damage, that's nice, but on one of the swings, you Flame Strike. I'm expecting to see this card in Tempo Warrior as well as Control Warrior, and I'm expecting the card to often be a 4-for-1 value. You'll kill 4 minions with it, that's my prediction. Number 5. It's Twilight Runner and Guardian Animals. Twilight Runner really is the star of the show here. For 5 mana, you're getting what used to cost 7 mana, Ancient of Lore, and draw 2 cards. That goes to show how powerful Twilight Runner is. With stealth, it'll almost always get its attack off, I'd like to say. What really pushes Twilight Runner over the top, which may have been a card already in a bunch of Druid decks, is Guardian Animals. Rush out some Twilight Runners, kill some guys, draw some cards. It's great. Number 4. Voracious Reader. A neutral 2 mana card refill is well desired by a lot of aggro and tempo decks. I think you're going to see a bunch of Voracious Readers being put into lower curves, which will lower because they'll know that at the end of their game, they'll have a Voracious Reader that can stock up 3 final cards to try to kill your opponent. Jeeves of old, except 2 mana discount and not symmetrical. Insane. Number 3. Troublemaker. Now this is the most powerful high-end minion that has been printed for a good amount of time. I think this is stronger than Priestess of Fury, before it was nerfed. Now the saving grace is that Warrior is naturally a less aggressive deck than Demon Hunter. If Demon Hunter got Troublemaker, that would have been absolutely insane. But whichever deck ends up getting Troublemaker ends up gaining a really huge benefit because when you do have the board, it's 12-14 worth of stats. They immediately attack the face, and if they don't kill your Troublemaker, you just do the same thing again next turn. And even if your opponent has minions, your Troublemaker bullies might actually dodge the big minions and then still go face, or still go for the lower attack minions and survive. That's where the real value of Troublemaker comes from. It's just so many stats and so much fast damage. Number 2, Lightning Bloom. When I first looked at the card, I was thinking, sure, gain 2 mana, but this isn't gonna see any play. After all, you have to repay back that mana. And are there any cards worth tempoing out? It turns out that there are cards worth tempoing out. Guardian Animals is the card you want to tempo out. And Survival of the Fittest is the card you want to tempo out. Those are the cards that made this list. It's because cards like that exist that you want Lightning Bloom, which is also why Shaman, I don't really think Lightning Bloom will be that good, but Druid, you have stuff that you want to ramp out. You can even ramp out your ramp. You play your power turn 2 turns early, and yes, you have a weak turn after that, but the fact that you're playing your power turn 2 turns early really helps you out against aggro, really helps put on the pressure. On top of that, Lightning Bloom is 0 mana, which means it combos very well with Kilthos. It can easily be one of the 2 spells you play before you play the free Survival of the Fittest or Guardian Animals. And now for the honorable mentions, so good that they probably would have normally made it onto a top 10 list, but hey, sometimes there are too many strong cards. Ace Hunter Kreen. I had lamented about how this card could completely shut down opponents. Your minions are completely immune whenever they attack now. They play a minion, you kill it, which means they are forced to kill Kreen or they lose. You know, sometimes you just auto-win when you start off with a tempo lead and you have Kreen. Not that bad when you're behind. It does also block damage from your weapon, and good with Rush. In another honorable mention, we have Lore Keeper Polkelt. This is a card that could be a big game changer in a number of decks. First of all, most noticeably in Quest Lock. You finish your quest, you play Polkelt, you use the hero power, and you immediately draw the highest cost card in your deck. That could be Alexstrasza or Malygos, in which case you're comboing with a 0 mana card that normally costs 9. That's amazing. Lorekeeper Polkelt could be a great card in any control deck or value deck, because after you play him, you're always just drawing the biggest card in your deck. You keep playing it until your opponent loses because they can't deal with it. Lorekeeper Polkelt could even be good in a tempo or mid-range deck, because you keep a few big cards at the top, you play your Polkelt, and then you draw those and play those on your upcoming turn, and you get like that final breath to kill your opponent. And finally, with this list of very strong and interesting cards, what tops them all? Number 1, Secret Passage. Turns out that 1 mana draw 5 cards is really good. By the way, any cards you draw with cards drawn by Secret Passage stay in your hand after you get rid of the rest of your hand from Secret Passage. So, Secret Passage, a great refill for any aggro deck or tempo deck, but honestly, a great card for any deck. This card single-handedly probably boosts Rogue's win rate by a non-trivial percentage. Secret Passage could allow for very aggressive face decks to keep refueling with Secret Passage and Voracious Reader late. And while it does seem most suited to aggro decks, believe me, I believe that the Galakron decks are going to run Secret Passage also, even with their bigger mid-rangey type deck. It is my belief that this is the single most powerful card in Hearthstone right now. What a set of top 10 cards. Go use these cards and win some games in the new Scholomance Academy meta.